I will grow you to live forever.
Yes.
I will grow you in righteousness,
Yes.
justice, in love and compassion. I will grow you in faithfulness and in acknowledge the Lord.
Imagine Mungu akikuoa na anasema in faithfulness, in joy, in fairness. Unafanya nini kule kwa naongea hivyo? So naona huo Mungu ananioa forever na ananipromise vitu vingine. Hiyo ndio mistari alikuwa ananitumia jana. So hata wewe pokea hiyo mistari.
Amen. Amen. Let's go our feet. And I'm worried about the lady. You can't know away, but if you don't know the song, you should know the song. You know, I love when I'm singing, not just singing. No, I can't go to Canada. You know what the lady? Ishine kanda kwa shokeria. Kuma ile waje dile. Ogero kandi kamera ina kinyambuzi no odoi. I think those words hits me at the bottom of my heart. And from the moment God called me, He told me, I did a kind of like no odoi. And I'm really hoping, though the journey has been tough, but He has still preserved me. Praise God. Hallelujah. Makofi kwa Yesu.
Magia y
muciare kwa ndani rapa ile ro kana ya mono ate isine gato lo sho ke tor kumani raati dire o ge dukani ga dai na nginya mo de no do here. So there's one promise that God made to you when He called you. When not you know, He called you from your mother's womb. Praise God. He called you from non-existence. He praised you into your mother's womb because of saying Jeremiah. I think these words were in the right context. We are supposed to, if you are using metaphor, we are supposed to see Jeremiah behind these words. You know, Jeremiah was told, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Praise God. So before he called you from the crowd. Praise God. You know, we come in a memory 64 GB, they know 2 GB. The other part of it is just empty. Praise God. So your memory na goja uweke kitu hapo ijayo. Praise God. So sometimes you are somewhere in the crowd. Praise God. But God praised you to your mother. I go with you ready. I'm going to go. Praise God. That's the part that is making me thank God and be faithful and feel like thanking Him each and every day. Praise God. Praise God. I didn't have a word, but I want to, because of time, I want to paraphrase. I want to carry the message out of the word. If you have time, you go and read the word of from the book of Mark 35. 35 hadi penye inaishia, that is 41. Praise God. And this is a context. You know, Jesus came and he had a very limited time. You know, I want to thank all of you who are 30 years and above. Praise God. You know, Jesus came into this world and he found the environment was very hostile. I think, you know, praise God, or to leave this world. But I think the world was very hostile for Jesus, that he had to accomplish what he accomplished in that years. Praise God. You know, sometimes when, no, you don't want to control me, totally Christian, but sometimes, no, he knew, no. How can you I think this, I better leave at this point, leave it at this point. Praise God. I was really thinking, that is my own thinking. Why Jesus did not live for 100 years or 150 years like the others, Abraham. I can tell you. I didn't know what I just went to praise God. You know, according to the Kenyan constitution, that's the Bible. But as per Jesus was, within that years, he makes sure he accomplished everything. Praise God. And he left. Praise God. In this world you face troubles, but take heart. Praise God. You know, maybe if you want to start a business, like you know our friend here, Edwin is in the insurance business. You want to venture into that business, how is this? Praise God. At the end he can see he sees right at the end of the tunnel. Praise God. You know there's a right at the end of the tunnel. No, praise God. But Jesus was saying, at the end of the day, this is a message that he was telling us. Take heart. Praise God. It becomes a time that you say you can. Praise God. And these people might give them honor. Praise God. And with this message, I want to come up with a situation in the Bible that Jesus was with the disciples. Praise God. You know, I want to congratulate all of you Christians who are here. Praise God. Because you usually see yourself as victors and people who have made it. Praise God. Although you are not where you wanted to be, you are victors and you have strength. Praise God. I want you to see the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. This is a story when Jesus Christ was. Let's for example, they were on this side of Lake Victoria and they wanted to go to Uganda. So they had to cross the sea. Praise God. At this time, kukakuwa na mawimbi kwa upepo ikakuja mkubwa. Praise God. Na wako na mkubwa, unajua mkubwa wamelala hapa. Praise God. Wako na mkubwa. But hata wako na mkubwa wanaona watakufa. Praise God. Walikuwa na mkubwa. They had the source of strength. Praise God. They had he who created Abraham, the father of Abraham, he who created Abraham, he who created David. Wako naye hapa physically. I'm not speaking about faith. He doesn't faith in walikuwa na yeye hapo. Praise God. You know when you have Jesus, you don't need faith. Ukikuwa na yeye hapo, utakuwa na faith but yuko na yeye, it's guaranteed. Praise God. Ukimshika utapona. Praise God. But hata wako na yeye hapa, they were waiting everywhere. Tutakufa. And Jesus was asleep because you know I think he was very busy with ministry and he was praying at night. And they were like, tutakufa. Praise God. Yesu akawaambia, you people of little faith. Praise God. Mko na ni kama mkubwa unajua unashinde ukiteta na mkubwa hapa hapa. You know sometimes uko na mkubwa hapa. Unataka ukiteta mambo si mzuri. Praise God. He has the capacity. Praise God. So you are supposed to shut your mouth because the mkubwa hapa na capacity. Praise God. So I want you to take you know, here we are still believing. Praise God. It is not easy to be a Christian. Praise God. Because the disciples with Jesus Christ there, they had still issues with faith. Praise God. Having faith and soldiering in all is not an easy thing. Praise God. And here we are. There are many people who have forsaken the Christianity and they are out there saying there is no God who exists. Praise God. They actually have valid reasons why they are saying so. Praise God. Because Jesus told, he warned us. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel must be hard, very hard. Praise God. So then this time, the wind came. That's not where the sermon is or the key word is. The wind came. Upepo ikakuja. Ikabeba maji. Maji kaanza kuinua. Upepo ikainua maji. Praise God. Maji ikachukua meli kaanza kaita anguka. Lakini mkubwa pia bado amelala. Praise God. Amelala. Praise God. Hata wanaomba mkubwa. Ni kama uko kwa kampuni yako, unaomba mkubwa afutwe kazi na kazi ni yake. You know, it's not making sense. Praise God. Ni kama the boss who, the CEO, ni kama that's a scenario wewe unaomba CEO afutwe kazi juu amechelewa. Au unarejea saa mbili atafutwa kazi. And you sense kampuni ni yake haifutwa kazi na mtu. He is operating at his own time. Praise God. He is operating, the sun and the moon and the stars, they all belong to him. They all belong to him. Praise God. But you should be running these lessons and even as you run the Bible and you try to encourage yourself. What happened nimefika nikijaribu? Praise God. Kekwa ni mimi, hata nisikia Yesu, mimi hata nisikia ako Nairobi na niko hapa, I think ningekuwa na kafeini kidogo. But for this situation, they were still fearing. So, upepo ikakuja ikabeba maji. Praise God. I don't see this. Upepo ikakuja ikafanya maji ikakuwa mlima. Praise God. You see water is liquid. You know water is liquid. Have you ever seen water? It is hydrogen and oxygen. It is one molecule. It is H2O. Two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen. They form water. Lakini upepo ilikuja ikafanya maji ikakuwa mlima. Praise God. Wacha nikwambie, shetani akiamua mambo itakuwa ngumu, hakuna kitu utaona. Hata ile kitu mzito ndogo hapa kabisa kama inakuwa mlima. Praise God. I want to imagine the upepo ilikuwa imefanya maji ikuwe mlima. Praise God. The devil had the capacity to create mountains anywhere. Praise God. I want you to imagine if Jesus never came, that the devil is using water to create a mountain. You know, imagine. The last thing you could expect from water is water becoming a mountain. Because the physicality of water is a liquid. But yani shetani alikuwa anajaribu kutengenezea disciples mlima. Hata kwa maji hata ukipotelea wapi unapata mlima. Praise God. I want you to imagine how shetani anakuvinyilia kwa kona wakati mwingine. Anakuvinyilia kwa kona. Ile kitu rahisi uko nayo. What you thought is just a ghost through. It's just simple thing. Praise God. And sometimes we find ourselves in such situations. Praise God. That the devil is utilizing our comfort zone and making the mountains. Praise God. Tunashangaa tumepotelea milima tukakuja hapa. But pia hapa tuko shetani ametumia upepo amefanya hii kitu tuko nayo ikakuwa mlima. Praise God. Because they might have maybe they could have ran away. They could have ran away from everything. Na wakaona huku kwingine wanapigwa na Farao, huku kwingine Herode kwa huku. Waje tutembee kwa maji. Huku tutatembea tu na samaki, tutapatana tu na samaki na some few other things. But even in this situation, they have the capacity to create mountains. Invisible, to create invisible. So this was the time. But mkubwa alikuwa amelala. Unaniamushia nini? You know, it was like, why Jesus could not die because before he accomplished the purpose. Praise God. Because he knew, unless I have accomplished my purpose, I cannot die. Praise God. So this is it. Here you are. There's nothing that there's no havoc that the devil can cause unto you. If the purpose that God created you for is not done, praise God. You should have faith and be courageous. Praise God. Praise God. And that power that was
That power was beside the disciples. But now that power lives in us. I want you to see how privileged we are. Praise God. That power was beside them because maybe they could not feel, they could fear. Because Jesus was not in them, he was beside them. Praise God. Yeah. But now the power that conquered the grave, by that time, that power that now lives in us. Praise God. Yeah. So we may not have the physical part of it, but we have the software. But Jesus is in us. Praise God. If he is in us, and there's no mountain that can be very, very hard for us, because for them, they could only wait Jesus to stop the mountain. But now, because he is in us, we can stop the mountain we ourselves. We can talk to the mountain. Praise God. Yes. So, get here. Jesus, when Jesus wake up, he said, let me be there. Sometimes it's fair to get the word from the horse's mouth. Jesus stood up on that night. Jesus stood and commanded the wind, be quiet. Praise God. Jesus commanded the wind. Praise God. What was not the problem? Wind, you cannot see the wind. I want you to see this picture. Hakuna mtu anaonaga upepo. Praise God. Hakuna mtu anaonaga nini? Upepo. Wind is just, I think it's changing atmosphere in different parts of the world. That's what we are told by scientists. It's what causes the wind is changing atmosphere. In atmospheric pressure, when atmospheric pressure changes from one part of the world. So you people here when you talk inside inaenda kujaza the other part. But wind is not seen. But what had caused the mountain, what had no problem. Maji haikuwa na shida. Shida ilikuwa ni upepo. Praise God. So sometimes we tend to blame the water. Praise God. But the problem is not the water, the problem is the wind, and the wind is not seen. Praise God. Sometimes we blame the situation because of what we are seeing. Praise God. Unaona mtoto wako anaweza kuvuta bangi. Mtoto alikuwa mzuri, alikuwa sawa. Praise God. Hakuwa na shida yote. Unaona mtoto ashaanza kuvuta bangi. Praise God. Or those who are married, your wife had no issues. But all of a sudden, nimekwambia shetani alikuwa na cause mlima kwa maji. The most opaque, I say opaque or what? When I say opaque or what can I say? Unaona shida ishakuja. You're someone very good, but unaona shakuwa mlima. Something that cannot really expect you, because you don't expect the water to become a mountain. Praise God. And you start blaming the water instead of coming down the wind. Praise God. And coming down the wind is leading unto Jesus Christ. Praise God. And when you stop the wind, the water has no issue. Praise God. People have no issue. Yes. The issue is the wind. And the wind is who is the one pepper. And what causes problem is the wind. The problem must not be the water. Praise God. So I want to challenge you, brethren, when we see situations right against us, praise God. The situation is not the situation we see. The problem is the wind you cannot see. And it can only fall in our prayers, praise God. When the situation stand against us, praise God, let's stop blaming each other. Let's go down in our knees, praise God. And tell the wind be quiet. Because I cannot see you, but I know you, the wind, you are causing the problem, praise God. And I want you to see, the wind had caused the mountain in the ocean. Upepo, yani mlima, unapata mlima ya maji. Unapata Mount Kenya in the water, praise God. Something that they could not really expect, praise God. But the problem was with the wind, and the wind could not be seen, praise God. Brethren, the wind has caused a lot of problems in us, praise God, in our lives, praise God. And we continue blaming the water, and the water has no problem, praise God. Even if you blame the water, you blame the water, uchipe mitaro itoe maji, the problem will also be the wind before you where we go, praise God. But instead, start up with the water, like Jesus stood and told the water, be quiet, praise God. You, the water, be quiet, praise God. Sometimes, magonjwa inaingia kwa familia. Watu wanasema hamkutoa buzi yani. Hamkutoa buzi fulani, kuna buzi fulani hamkutoa. Unaweza kuwa kuna nyanya, before kuka yako akufe kuna nyanya yako alikuwa ameambia kuka yako something, praise God. That is the water, it's not the wind. That is the water, praise God. It is not the wind, the issue is the wind. And the wind can only be fought in the prayers, praise God. It's only Jesus who could see the wind, who could see the root cause of the problem that we are going through, praise God. So brethren, as a church you might be having issues, praise God. As a church you might be having issues. As at home, we might be having issues. We may fight, but let's remember, The issue is with the weed. The issue is not with the water. Praise God.
Amen.
Maji iko sawa, maji ndio tunakunywa. Maji iko sawa inakunywa. But the problem is the weed. And the opaque nature of the weed, you never see the weed. Praise God. This is what I learned, and I was reading those words in the morning, and I was like, purple. Yeah? So it has all been the weed. The problem is what has not been the water. It has all been the weed. And you know, same power that God can create lives in me. Same power that was beside John lives in me. The same power that was beside John and stopped the weed and told the weed to be quiet is still with me. And from now, I will be talking to the weed. And for the weed, I will now not drink the water anymore. I want to drink the weed. Even if it is unseen, I can see it with my spiritual eyes. May God bless you. Let's invite our question.